How does an electric motor work? An electric motor is a basic component of almost every modern thing in modern times. But how does it work? Today we're going to look at the inside. Now every motor looks around the same and it has the same mechanism. So we're just going to go on an imaginary motor that kind of has all the cylinders into it. Before this, we need to understand how a circuit works, a basic circuit at least. So over here, we're going to have the power source, anything like a battery, solar panel, solar cell, whatever. And then we're going to have the user, which in this case is going to be a light bulb. And then we're going to have the connectors, the two wires that are going to continuously do. We have batteries have electrons. These carry the electronic particles, this kind of electricity between them. And thus effectively it uses itself as a wire. And thus effectively what happens they transfer all is just simply just go through the circuit of the bulb and just attach whatever electrical energy they have uncharged, and then go back to the battery and then just kind of get more electricity and then put it back to the bulb, kind of like a bus route or something. Hopefully you understand. So what we have here we can do is to make it more controlled flow is by adding a switch. We can imagine this as like a drawbridge or something. You can level the amount of people can go through. In this case, we can on and turn it on and turn off the electricity by simply just obstructing the flow, which is going to prevent any electricity from passing through, which is going to stop the thing from going on. We can add now we need to do the other part of the story, magnets. Almost every motor has a magnet in it, and then before this we need to understand basic magnetism. The same poles repel while opposite poles attract. It's called a basic rule. But we need an electromagnet. Electromagnets, they can be turned on and off. And we can do this simply by wrapping some metal around we can add some metal wires around something, and metal, and this just turns it, and thus this forces the magnetic domains in it to align specifically, and thus it becomes the magnet itself. And when you turn off the current, it just turns itself off. So it's in fact an on-off switch. You can use the same method from the electricity we just talked about. So what we officially have here is a basic magnetism, but really we need something else. For now, we're just using the bolt for the example. So we have the copper wires around this bolt, and then we connect this to the battery. And just when the current passes through, it forces the magnetic domain to align. There we go, we have a magnet. But now we can spin this. If we just put this on another screw, and just switch the wires, the polarity, the direction, so switch it because the current is flowing in the opposite direction, which means the magnetic domain is going the opposite direction this time. So if it switches, and thus it turns. Then if you switch it again, it turns again. And thus you can get a full 360-degree rotation. But how do you run it without just changing the amount of manual? That isn't exactly the best way, obviously. So instead, we use a commutator for the motor. Now we're going to use some main upgrades for the motor instead of our raw design here. So instead of the bolt, we're going to have a metal frame called an armature, which is made out of copper, and then two side round magnets. These two side mounted magnets are usually permanent magnets. Some is temporary, but permanent is technically better. Anyways, this armature is then connected to the commutator. The commutator, meanwhile, itself is a ring that is split into two sections. In this case, usually split into more sections, but more about that later on. For now, there's two sections, just so you can understand better. Now, the armature itself, meanwhile, has 2 points. So something like this. And then you have the split ring here. And then thus each wire has on half of that ring. So what essentially happens here is that when you turn it on, electricity goes through. Before that we have these carbon brushes, these strands of electricity, and these have contact with the commutator, and that's what this is then connected to the battery. So effectively you have a basic motor. Another thing, we also have on the other side we have an axle. This is the main rotating arm. This is what we connect everything to, gears, whatever, on the other side with an axle. But for now, just delete that. That's not necessary in the motor. Anyways, so what essentially happens is that when you melt the wire, it magnetizes, and because of the opposite magnets, it rotates around 180 degrees. Perfect. But now, how do you do the other half? Same thing here, because those splits, when the carbon brushes break on the other one, it switches the polarity because they're going to different rings now. And thus, it switches it, and thus it rotates another 360 degrees, and thus we get the rotational motion. But we can also increase the efficiency and the speed because with this we have a speed delay and we have multiple different issues and it's very stable. And thus, if we double this to 4, we get a much more efficient spring system and it turns faster. Now, real motors, meanwhile, have hundreds of little wires and it's coiled around that, while they split up into many different sections of the commutator itself. And there are many different axles and actuators, and thus we get this effective copper wire mesh in the inside. But thus it gets very efficient. And effectively, this is used in almost anything from electric toothbrushes to cars, anything. Anything uses electric motors at this point. We live in the modern age. This video is also being published in the modern age. Currently it's 2024. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Thank you.